and everything. I feel so lucky that I got to play something that is so far from what I know and what I'm used to. And I super enjoyed every second of it.
The problem with our society can be found with Snow White and what's going on with Snow White. We have too many people that don't know what it's like to...
What if we told you that Disney's latest live-action remake, Snow White, has become one of the most talked-about disasters in Hollywood history? Yes, the iconic fairy tale reboot starring Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot has turned into a whirlwind of controversy, finger-pointing, and shocking allegations that could redefine how the industry treats its stars. But here's the kicker. Rumors are swirling that Disney is demanding Rachel Zegler pay back a portion of the financial losses from the film's catastrophic box office failure. Could this be the first time a leading lady is held accountable for a studio's billion-dollar blunder? Let's dive into what's really happening behind the scenes.
I never would have imagined that I would get to be Snow White. So truly just for people to see someone who looks like them, someone who represents a dreamer, no matter what they look like or where they come from.
To start, Snow White was supposed to be Disney's next big thing, a modern reimagining of their very first animated feature from 1937. With a stellar production team, a massive budget reportedly exceeding $250 million, and a fresh-faced star in Rachel Zegler, everything seems set for success. But instead of a happily ever after, the film has spiraled into a nightmare. Insiders claim that Disney executives are in full-blown crisis mode, holding emergency meetings to figure out what went wrong, and more importantly, who's to blame. And all eyes seem to be on Zegler. The buzz around Disney's alleged actions against Zegler is unprecedented. Multiple sources from within the industry are whispering that top brass at Disney are furious, not just disappointed, about the film's performance. One insider reportedly overheard an executive exclaim, "She torched $1 billion brand in under a year and we paid her to do it. Ouch." The rumors suggest that Disney is exploring every legal loophole, including the possibility of invoking morality clauses or performance-related terms in Zegler's contract to recoup some of their losses. Could Zegler really be forced to pay back millions? If true, this would mark a seismic shift in Hollywood's playbook, putting unprecedented pressure on actors to not just perform on screen, but also maintain a squeaky clean public persona.
As Rachel Zegler hurt the film's box office with her actions in since-deleted comment. This is the exchange.
So what exactly did Rachel Zegler do to land herself in such hot water? Well, let's rewind to some of her now infamous public comments. Before the film even hit theaters, Zegler sparked outrage by calling the original Snow White extremely dated, criticizing the love story as weird, and labeling the prince a stalker. In one viral interview, she quipped, "I'm not dreaming about true love, I'm dreaming about becoming a leader." While some applauded her for championing a more independent, modern take on the character, others saw it as an outright dismissal of the original film's legacy, and by extension, Disney's core fan base. The backlash was swift and brutal, with hashtags like "Not My Snow White" and "Boycott Snow White" trending across social media platforms.
Obviously backlash for various reasons in the lead up to its release. Zegler had called the original Snow White movie dated and weird and said Prince Charming was a stalker.
But wait, it gets messier. Zegler's political activism has also been a major point of contention. In one now deleted post, she thanked fans for watching the Snow White trailer before signing off with, "And always remember, Free Palestine." While some supported her stance, others, including Disney executives, reportedly panicked. It's been alleged that Mark Platt, the film's producer, flew to New York personally to ask Zegler to take the post down. She refused. And that wasn't the only time her political views stirred the pot. After the 2024 U.S. presidential election, Zegler posted inflammatory comments about Donald Trump and his supporters, saying, "May Trump voters never know peace." She later issued a public apology, but the damage was done.
Variety breaks down how after this tweet went viral, the studio was shocked that she would mix a promo tweet with a political statement. As a result, Mark Platt flew to New York to speak with her.
What made the situation even worse was the unfortunate timing of Zegler's controversial posts, which coincided with the release of the film's first trailer. Disney, already under significant pressure to make Snow White a global hit, reportedly scrambled to regain control of the narrative. According to insiders, a full-scale PR operation was launched to address the backlash, involving multiple meetings with Zegler's team to discuss the potential impact of her statements. Despite these efforts, sources suggest that the actress was unwilling to compromise her personal beliefs, which only added to the studio's frustration. The issue wasn't limited to the posts themselves, but extended to the broader concerns about how they disrupted the film's entire launch strategy.
And had a reprimand because when they went out on tour for publicity, she starts in with all of her political nonsense. And that wasn't helping Disney.
The chaos was further amplified by growing tension between Zegler and her co-star Gal Gadot. The two actresses, who reportedly held opposing views on a highly charged political issue, were said to have clashed during the film's promotional events. Gadot, known for her vocal support of Israel, was allegedly caught off guard by Zegler's remarks. Sources claim that Disney had to go as far as assigning separate PR teams to manage their appearances, ensuring that they avoided situations where their disagreements could become public. This divide not only complicated the marketing campaign, but also made for an uncomfortable atmosphere among the cast and crew during press tours.
Who is the fairest of them all? Apparently it isn't Snow White.
Jonah Platt, whose father helped produce the latest Snow White film, had some very harsh words for star Rachel Zegler.
Internally, Disney executives reportedly debated whether they should reduce Zegler's role in the film's promotion. Insiders mentioned discussions about shifting the focus toward Gatto and the film's visual elements, potentially downplaying Zegler's involvement at key events. However, this approach presented its own challenges, as the lead actress in the face of Snow White, sidelining Zegler risked alienating younger audiences who had initially connected with the film because of her presence. The situation left the studio in a difficult position, where neither fully embracing nor minimizing her role seemed like a viable solution. It became a delicate balancing act that underscored the complexity of the fallout.
And you can have that in your persona, but when you come out and the freedom of speech was to condemn the very thing that you're paid to build? Are you kidding me?
This brings us to the film's disastrous performance at the box office. Snow White debuted to a lackluster $43 million domestically and $44 million internationally in its opening weekend, a far cry from the $100 million Disney had hoped for. Analysts now predict the film will struggle to break even, let alone turn a profit. And here's where the blame game comes into full focus. Industry insiders believe Zegler's controversial comments alienated key demographics, from nostalgic Disney fans to international audiences. One studio executive allegedly remarked, "Her interviews became a PR nightmare. Instead of promoting the film, she was tearing it apart." Adding fuel to the fire, rumors have emerged that Disney's PR team ghost-wrote parts of Zegler's public apologies in an attempt to soften the backlash. Sources claim Zegler was even assigned a media consultant to follow her around during press tours, ensuring she didn't say anything else that could jeopardize the film's success. Yet, despite these efforts, the damage was already done. The film's marketing campaign was scaled back, red carpet events were muted, and co-star Gal Gadot reportedly distanced herself from Zegler during promotional appearances.
Words talk, numbers scream. People are screaming. Disney, get it together. Who is the Disney's customer? You talk about this all the time, Pat.
The fallout has been brutal. Not only is Zegler's reputation taking a hit, but her future with Disney also appears to be in jeopardy. Some insiders suggest the studio has already shelved plans for future projects with her, and there's speculation her contract could be restructured or even terminated. Meanwhile, industry whispers paint a grim picture for Zegler's career outside of Disney. Producers are reportedly wary of casting her, fearing she's become radioactive. But let's not ignore the broader implications of this debacle. Snow White's failure has sparked a heated debate about Disney's live-action remake strategy. Many argue the studio's obsession with modernizing classic tales has alienated its core audience. Critics point to fundamental miscalculations in tone, casting, and storytelling. For instance, the decision to replace the Seven Dwarves with CGI characters has been widely criticized, with some labeling it a soulless move. Even Peter Dinklage, who initially praised Disney for reimagining the dwarves, later expressed concerns about the execution.
Feelings about Israel and Gaza, I don't care at all. I care a little bit more about Rachel Zegler having like an underlying amount of contempt for the intellectual property.
And then there's the generational divide. Zegler, a vocal member of Gen Z, represents a new wave of activists who unapologetically share their opinions online. While her outspokenness resonates with some, it has also highlighted the growing tension between traditional Hollywood values and the demands of a more socially conscious audience. As one media analyst put it, this isn't just about Snow White. It's a clash of ideologies, old versus new, tradition versus progress. So where does this leave Rachel Zegler? At just 23, she finds herself at a career crossroads. She could take a step back, rebrand, and rebuild her reputation, or she could double down on her beliefs, risking further alienation from the industry. Whatever path she chooses, one thing is clear. Her story serves as a cautionary tale for Hollywood. It's a stark reminder that in today's digital age, every word, tweet, and interview can make or break a career. And what about Disney? The studio is undoubtedly reeling from the Snow White fiasco, but it's also facing a larger existential crisis. Can it continue to modernize its classic tales without losing its magic? Or has the era of live-action remakes finally run its course? Only time will tell. So, what do you think? Should Rachel Zegler be held accountable for the film's failure, or is Disney using her as a convenient scapegoat? And is it time for Hollywood to rethink its approach to reboots and remakes? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more behind-the-scenes drama straight from Tinseltown. See you in the next one.